Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm not the type to take no for an answer. I don't deal with people that are like a cancer. No, instead I hang with the people that enhance ya. And I'm not the type to give out second chances. I just wanna work on my own for myself. I don't need no help, not anybody else. Nah, man, I got it dealt. I'm working on my wealth and I'm working on my health. Keep on working to excel, cause I'm working on myself. Yeah. And y'all don't know that I'm a soldier. I always felt like I'm alone, yeah. When everybody thinks they know, yeah.
Alright, welcome back to MMGinvest and Wolfpack Cryptos. In today's video, I'm going to do TA for the stock market, precious metals, and Bitcoin. So, all combined. But, before I go into all of that, I just need to get something off of my shoulders and address some issues. So my last video about Peter Schiff and Bitcoin, a lot of people started spiraling, like emotionally spiraling. And I'm not for everyone. If you guys think I'm for everybody, I'm not. And I understand that sometimes people don't agree with me, and that's fine. You don't have to agree with me. You shouldn't. You shouldn't agree with anyone all the time. But a lot of you need to come to the realization that I am really not for everyone. And yes, sometimes I seem angry. I am an angry person. And you know that saying, ignorance is bliss. It's 100% true. And I know a lot, okay? I know way more than I talk about on YouTube, right? And one of the reasons I can't even talk about it is because I'll just get banned, right? And but I don't want to say red pill, I reality pill people like in the chat groups every once in a while. You guys need to understand that investing, there's no emotions involved. There is no attachment to your investment. You can't. One of the golden rules of investing is as soon as you become emotionally attached, you're screwed. It's over. You're going to lose all your money. It's just a golden rule. There's no belief systems in investing. And a lot of Bitcoin people just really cannot get past that point. And that's why a lot of people came out against me when it was 19,000 Bitcoin. And I'm like, this shit's going to crash. And they learned the hard way. So, and another thing, you guys need to know some things about me. I'm not emotional. I have aggression. How can I say this? I still have normal testosterone levels. In the West, they have fallen 30%. I'm not emotional. I am an angry person at times. And I'll give you guys a perfect example of why I'm angry. It has nothing to do with markets, okay? Nothing really surprises me in the stock market or the crypto market or anything. All of that is already, it's in there. I think about it all the time. I know what's coming down the line. I do know, the risks. I do know regulations that are coming. I do know manipulation exists. I know all of that, right? None of that really bothers me emotionally. I never have too much emotion. Sometimes, I am human. I will get mad with manipulation, but it has nothing to do with that. Listen, my IQ is pretty high. It's up there. I've taken it quite a few times. Taken it for the military. It's up there. I can't spell worth shit. I can spell in 2 languages incorrectly. It's hilarious. I'm not perfect. And I'm not saying I'm smarter than anyone. A lot of people are smarter at certain things, right? But I do have I have a high pattern recognition ability, and I also have an ability to see through bullshit. And I'm really good at seeing through people. And some people are just kind of born with it. All my life, people have tried to break me, like mentally. My father, and he was good at it. He was intelligence. He couldn't do it. Military couldn't do it. That was funny. And when people can't break you mentally, they try to attack you, and then eventually you win. So, what am I trying to say? Okay, so you guys don't see this, but I see comments. I see people trying to tell me what to think. People message me. I get 50 messages a day. People tag me. I see the comment sections. And you guys don't see this. And normally I don't. As soon as I get the slightest hint of gamma male cuck, right, I just ban them. I don't even read what they say. And even if I do, it doesn't bother me. I just kind of laugh. I think it's funny. Because I can see through people, what they write, their psychological BS and blah, blah, blah. And it's funny to me. Because I'm way past that, alright? I've never cared what anyone's ever thought of me in my entire life. And a lot comes with that. Here's a golden nugget. If you stop caring what other people think, you are in control, not them. And then you're going to get attacked. But, I don't want to go down and talk too much about that, even though I will on my Atlas videos, and I'll talk more about, controlling your own thoughts and mind, and then once you control yourself, you control people around you in a way. You become a leader. I'm not saying you control them, but you become a leader. Anyways, so why am I... For one, I seem angry because I don't lie to myself, and I don't tell people what they want to hear. I tell them literally what I think, all right? And I don't lie to myself. That's one reason why people think I'm angry. Another reason is I see how fucked up the world is in a very, very real way, all right? Everything that's happening today, my parents told me when I was a child what was going to happen. Nothing surprises me, all right? So, I'm going to give you guys an example of why I'm so pissed off. For one, recently my mom got breast cancer, and she's a very healthy person. There's no reason why she should get it. It doesn't even run in the family. And everyone's getting cancer today, right? Everyone. And last night, for example, I'm out. It's 1 a.m. I'm out in the backyard with my dog. And I hear some loud noise. It sounds like a street sweeper. And I see the orange lights off in the distance. I'm like, oh, it's just a street sweeper, even though I've never seen one around here. Because it's like the suburbs, right? And then this truck rolls by, and it's just blowing out. Huge, like a cloud of white mist. I'm like, what is that? And then I research it, and immediately I'm thinking, is this pesticide? And it is. It's a fogger, and it just blows pesticide everywhere. He creates a huge cloud. Now, a normie would be like, oh, it's great. Whoa, whoopity-doo-dah. It kills all the mosquitoes. It's good. Read every can you have inside your house that kills bugs. It's carcinogenic. Causes cancer. They crop dust all of our vegetables and fruits, right? So the bugs don't eat it. That's why you're supposed to wash your fruits and vegetables, because there's pesticide on it, carcinogens, so you don't get cancer, right? Now think about this. This immediately, what goes through my mind? I'm like, for one, why are they doing this in the middle of the night so no one can see it? Two, they didn't ask me if they could blow carcinogens and poison all over my lawn and house. Three, my tax-paying dollars are paying for this. Four, the side effects are cancer. And how much do they do this? How often and how frequently? Alright, so for one, you need to realize that yes, there's cancer-causing agents in all pesticides. If it kills a small bug, well, if you keep getting hit with it for long periods of times, years, it might have side effects, right? It builds up in your body. Alright, now they blow this shit all over the lawn, all over your car, your door handles, everything, the house. Your air conditioner sucks it in, blows it inside the house. Now it's inside your house. If you have a dog, if you walk on the lawn, the residue hits your shoes, you bring it inside your house. And then it sits there for like a month. Now, if you cut the lawn, you mow the lawn, you kick up dust and grass particles and everything. And that's layered with the poison, right? And then you breathe it in. Okay, now it gets even worse. You're thinking, well, I'll just wait for the rain to wash it away. Okay, the rain comes, washes it away, and then all of the poison goes into the water system because it goes into the sewage, right? Well, all that water is recycled by the city. And then you shower in it. And then you cook with it. And then some of you idiots actually drink tap water. And I don't want to get into the other stuff that's in it. Let me just say, none of those minerals are organic. They're recycled from processing plants, from chemical plants. So there you go. It makes you docile, lowers your IQ, causes you cancer. Then they profit off of the cancer, right? It also causes obesity, causes mental illness. What else? It causes immune deficiency. It causes everything you can name it. It'll lower your testosterone, make you impotent. I keep going. So, I have every right to be pissed off. And if you are not pissed off, then there's something wrong with you. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that is the problem with society today. People aren't pissed off. Do you understand? It's normal to be pissed off when you're being poisoned. It's normal to be pissed off when everything on TV is programming. It's normal to be pissed off. And there's another, you could argue that they're purposely lowering testosterone so people do not get pissed off. Do you understand? So, and they call it toxic masculinity, right? And you have to understand, men, generations before us, used to be real men. They would have a revolution over like a 3% tax. Today, you are literally being farmed. And everyone just goes along with it for the freebies, for the handouts. They promise you that you won't even get in the end anyways. The baby boomers, right? Ironically, I talked to all my neighbors, baby boomers, and they were actually understanding. If I talk to a younger generation, they who knows? I don't know. They're like, ooh, Pikachu or some shit. They look on some app on their phone. You have to understand why I'm angry. And if you don't, I am not for you. Go away. Unsubscribe, hit the thumbs down, and fuck off. Alright? This is for my channel. It's not for everyone. It's for higher IQ. It's for people who can still think for themselves. It's people who are more like me. And if you don't agree, it's fine. You don't have to agree. Go away, Why would you ever want to listen to someone who you don't like or you disagree with? Go away. Save yourself the anger. Me, it doesn't matter. I just ban people. I've banned hundreds of people already. So, there you go. And I just had to get this off my shoulder. Let's get into some TA. Let's talk about some news. And, yeah. Alright, I'm going to start with the stock market, then metals, and then Bitcoin. So, here's the S&P 500. There was a huge cup and handle. It did break out from the cup and handle. And now today it actually sold off. Here's the daily chart. The 3-day chart actually gave me a nice perfect sell, the TDI indicator, which I give away for free in the private groups. And also, before I keep going, and I forget, Wolfpack Cryptos will be coming back. I'll I'll take on more members. It'll be a lot cheaper because I'll talk more about that once I'm done talking about the Bitcoin price. And you guys are going to get these indicators, just so you know. All right, 3-day chart gave me a nice sell signal right here. And the price is now dropping. Sometimes you get the sell signal, but then it goes up an extra few days and then it drops. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good for the stock market. It's actually more reliable for the stock market than it is for Bitcoin, mainly because the tone base for cryptos pretty much gave the TDI to the world, although he sells it for like $500 or something like that. All right, but we did have a 13 sell count signal on the daily. And then it did start dropping as soon as we had a 13 perfected sell. And I expect the stock market to pull back a little bit. Nothing crazy. I did warn about this in my last video a few days ago. And it'll probably revisit 2,900 on the S&P 500. And this is the daily chart of the S&P 500. And retest this and then probably shoot higher because they're going to cut interest rates to keep the stock market going higher, and that's their plan. Stock market melt up. All right, the VIX is pretty low, the volatile index. Dow Jones looks just like the S&P 500. The dollar, interestingly, this is a daily chart of the dollar. It's holding on to the 200-day moving average. It did go slightly below it for a few days, for like a week, but popped back up. And it really sold off today in a big way. And that is probably anticipating the next FOMC Fed minutes on July 30 and 31st. But I think it's going to hold the 96 for a while, 96.5 handle. And I'm going to make another video, guys, about a possible strong dollar in a rising stock market while they lower interest rates and print money. And I know that makes no sense whatsoever. And that's why I need to do some more research on it. I'm going to talk about it. It's called the milkshake theory. I forgot what's his name. I'll give him credit and I'll show you guys the video. But there's this thing called the milkshake theory. And I'm going to talk about that, where you could have a strong dollar, a rising stock market, while they print money and have negative yields. Although the milkshake theory does not actually include negative yields. And I'm going to talk about how that theory in negative yields is going to play out in the next like 3 to 5 years. Okay. Although I am looking at this daily chart, my blue line looks like it's going to cross back above the 200-day moving average, which should shoot the dollar higher. Now, with the stronger dollar, we can still get gold rising and silver rising, and I actually expect that to happen. Stronger dollar, stronger metals, and no one's going to expect it, and that's just how markets work. Well, manipulated markets, anyways. So, I'll talk about that in my next video. Alright, so before I go to gold and silver, let's take a look at the Russell 2000. Russell 2000's 2,000 mid-cap, smaller companies, not the 500 fortune companies. This moving average did just cross on the Russell, and the price is dropping due to that, which is the 50 and the 100-day. So the Russell is the weakest out of all the indices, and the Russell actually gauges the economy much better than the other indices because these are domestic businesses for the United States. The S&P 500 has international companies in reality, if you think about it. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a retest of 1,500 on the Russell, while the S&P and the Dow pull back a little bit more, right? In the next week. Today's Friday. The markets are already closed. This is a weekly chart of the Russell 2000. Here's a daily. Yeah, so I expect prices to retest the 200-day moving average on this small pullback. that I am expecting until the Fed comes out and lowers rates. How much will they lower? I do not know. Will it work? Probably. It might not work, but I think it'll work. Because somehow the market's... it's been working. Alright, here's the FANG index. So the FANGs are pulling back with the market as well today. Daily chart of the FANG index. And possible retest of the 200-day moving average as well for the FANGs, which takes us around 2,500. So look out for that. Is this really a trade that I would short? Not really. It's not. I mean, you might for a day trade, but nothing more. It's nothing you hold for days and weeks, in my opinion. Oh yeah, this isn't financial advice. Consult your financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Stocks, cryptocurrencies, extremely volatile, extremely risky. Do not invest in anything you're not willing to lose sleep over, and I mean it. And know what you're doing if you're going to trade. You should probably learn to trade or practice with a small amount of money. And you plan to lose that money, and then you'll get the swing of things. I need to make more tutorial videos. It's just that I've been really busy researching mining stocks lately before we go into a bull market. But they will come, the tutorial videos. I've made a few already. Alright. Here's the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's been outperforming all the indices. And that is also pulling back. I'm looking for a retest of the 7,500 on the NASDAQ for next week, okay? But what the market is signaling to the Fed, I think the market's signaling we're going to sell until the next FOMC meeting, and the Fed's going to see that the market's selling off, and then the Fed, because the market is selling off, that signals to the Fed to lower rates, even though the Fed is supposed to be absolutely independent of the stock market, but they're not. Because if they let the stock market fall too low, then the economy goes, and then the Fed can't do anything, or they can't manipulate it back up. It'll be too late. Here's crude. Crude's falling. Now, if the dollar gets stronger, which is very... it's a possibility, guys, for the next couple of years or year. Oil's going to get cheaper for the U.S., which will be interesting, which is a boost to the economy. Whenever your energy becomes cheaper, it's like a tax break. So picture it that way. So that will keep things going and the stock market possibly going higher for the next few years. But don't worry, I still think metals are going to go higher. Here's palladium. I think palladium, it's done. It couldn't make a new all-time high. It did have a nice reversal here, a rebound, but I think it's done now, and it's going to fall back down. At least retest 107, somewhere around down there, around $100. This is the Aberdeen Standard Palladium Trust Physical Palladium Shares ETF. Although Palladium had a crazy, wild bull run, I just forgot about Palladium, and I knew it was going to come, but you know, Bitcoin and cryptos and stock market has just caught my attention, and I forgot about Palladium, but it would have been great. But I think it's ran its course at this point. Tesla, there might be a little more upside to Tesla. Now let me talk about Tesla. So they just came out with that new brain thing, right? Okay, first of all, you guys remember the tunnel, the boring, the Tesla, the Elon Musk's boring company, and what they did in California? In that, you know, the interview, there's that reporter in a Tesla car with Elon, and they're like going down this makeshift tunnel, and the car's like ping-ponging left and right like a bumper car as they go through the tunnel like 40 miles per hour or 60 or whatever it was. And the reporter's kind of like afraid, and she's like, is this supposed to be this bumpy? All right. And then you have the self-driving. It's not really self-driving, guys. The Tesla cars, they're not. You're supposed to keep your hands on the wheels, even though Elon was like, hey, look, take your hands off the wheels. You know, if they can't create self-driving, what do you think their competence is when it comes to sticking chips and, you know, wires into people's brains? All right? I think it's a great marketing ploy. And not just that, another space shuttle exploded a few days ago for SpaceX. Listen, guys, I'm not saying this isn't going to be possible in the future. I just don't trust Elon Musk. He is a liar, and everyone knows that now. With the buyout for Tesla, straight up lie to manipulate the stock price and to wreck all the shorts. It's actually the worst thing a CEO could do. And he got a slap on the wrist, a fine, and he's still doing it in ways. He's releasing emails and blah, blah, blah. Listen, guys, I don't trust the guy, and I wouldn't be so excited about his Neuralink or whatever, alright? I think it's more BS than anything. I don't think it's coming anytime soon. If anything, technology is kind of going backwards, in my opinion. It's not. Innovation is actually... it's getting worse than it used to be, and we're coming to the end of empires here for Western civilization. Innovation's falling. All right, they're not hiring people based on their skill level and competence. They're hiring people on their sex and their political beliefs. That's not good for innovation. I don't care what you think or say. All right, let's take a look at gold and silver. Alright, so gold took a huge dump today, and I was actually expecting it. I posted in the private group of MMG that I took profits on my JNUG trade right before the markets closed yesterday because I had this feeling. I knew they were going to smash it, and we're a week away from the FOMC, right? So what they want to do is they want to smash gold before the Fed minutes, because if they let gold keep running until the Fed minutes, we're going to be at 1,500 gold in 2 weeks, in a week and a half from now, or 2 weeks. So they have to smash it now before the weekend, and then they're going to probably smash it Monday morning as well. I do think 1,400 is going to hold up. If they do smash it below 1,400 for gold, it'll probably pop right back up. It'll be a great buying opportunity, in my opinion. So this is a 12-hourly chart of gold. Major support anywhere from 1420 to 1400. And I expect them to smash it down to 1400. Alright. And then the Fed minutes. Here, I'll put a line when the Fed minutes come out. It'll be Tuesday and Wednesday. July... Come on. Oh. Alright, that white line right there. July 30th. So literally, not next week, but the week after that, Tuesday and Wednesday. So they could smash it down to 1,400, maybe slightly below, but it'll pop right back up right after the Fed minutes because they're going to lower interest rates. And if they lower them more than 25 basis points, metals are going to jump. Also, you can't ignore... here's another chart. You can't ignore silver. Where is it? Alright, here's a daily chart of silver. Huge rally in the past week. Since July 19th, it's taken off like a rocket. And I warned you guys, I even posted a Mike Maloney video. If you haven't watched this, you should watch this. He did a great video on silver, why it'll explode in price, and it did. And what did I say, guys, in my previous video? If silver goes to 17 bucks, they cannot stop it, and there's no manipulation to stop it. We're in a full-blown bull market rally in gold and silver. And silver went to 1660, and then they just recently smashed it back down. But the next rally in silver, it's going to 17 bucks, And it's game over, guys. You don't want to miss that train, because it ain't coming back, I don't think. Could be wrong. I could be wrong, but it's probably not coming back to these prices. Maybe in our lifetimes. So, you know, I personally don't want to miss the train, so I'm going all in. I do buy inverse ETFs. I put a small position on to hedge, but you know, I think the bull market is here, and it's just retesting this right here. And look at this. I mean, silver's going. It's gonna go into a bull market. This is a weekly chart of silver. Its all-time high was around $50. Right now we're at 16. They'll smash it back down to 16, maybe slightly below 16, and that is your last buying opportunity for physical, probably, and to buy the mining stocks, which are going to explode. All right. I still have 10% off for the MMG report with the research for mining stocks. It's valid, I think, until Sunday night at 12. So take advantage of that. But yeah, this is big, guys, big. So we get to $17, it's game over. I don't think their manipulation could stop it. Also, in that Mike Maloney video, he was showing you guys how a huge whale was buying silver while everyone else was selling. So smart money's in. And the silver to gold ratio, I warned you guys, it was at the highest ever in recorded history. And every time it gets up there past 80, that means we're going to go into a bull market in gold and silver. And that ratio is going to close, that huge gap. That means silver went up to 94 ounces of silver to 1 gold. So if you want to maximize your profits, you want to buy more silver mining stocks or stocks that have silver mining or at like 40% gold and 60% silver in what they're pulling out of the ground, right? In operations and reserves. And those stocks exploded when silver exploded this past week. And they went up like 10, 15, 20% like that in 1 week. So that's why I'm telling you guys, I personally don't want to miss this train. This is like life-changing money. Like, you have to understand, you don't want to buy when units of these shares are much more expensive. You want to buy at the bottom. When the units, the cost of each share is really, really cheap for these mining companies, because that's when you get the maximum gains. And of course, this bull run can last 3 to 5 years, but most of the gains are made if you buy the shares near the bottoms, right? Because you could afford more shares. All right. Most of the gains are made when the shares are really, really cheap. They're still really, really cheap. They're not as cheap as they were a few months ago, or when I started. That's why I rushed with MMG group and everything in the report. But it's still not too late, guys. When it's too late, I'm gonna stop selling the report. All right. So there you go. So the top's in for the ratio, and this ratio is gonna close, and this is a weekly chart. It's probably going to take a few years till like 2023 or something, and you're going to see some massive gains with mining stocks that also mine not just gold but silver. All right, let's go to Bitcoin. Or I want to talk about some news events. So Trump is not a capitalist. Let me repeat that again for you Trump supporters. Trump's not a capitalist. He's like a socialist. He's a big spender. He wants lower interest rates. He wants the Fed to keep printing money. He has more in common with AOC than you guys want to admit. So there's a lot going on with gold, guys. Deutsche Bank, it's in serious trouble. That's like the next Lehman Brothers, like back in 2008, 2009, with the Great Recession, the mortgage-backed security crisis. And yeah. I thought I'd see more news. Let's talk about Bitcoin. So my last video was pretty negative, and people are like, "You're overreacting." I don't think I am. I don't think I am at all. I think the U.S. is going to war with Bitcoin now and cryptos. Mainly, they're more concerned about Facebook and Libra. That is true, but they're also going to take out the rest of the cryptos. And evidence of that is, well, they're going after BitMEX now. The BitMEX exchange, the largest derivatives exchange for cryptos, for Bitcoin, right? And it's bad news, guys. The next exchange they're going to go after is Bitfinex, who is literally propping up the Bitcoin price and the entire crypto market and manipulating the price higher and higher so they could sell their bags and then get out eventually. And they're gonna, one of these days, they're gonna kick down their doors. You'll see. And they've already gone for BitMEX, and volume is falling for crypto right now. Guys, it's as negative as it gets. Mnuchin came out, state of emergency, regulations to stop the on and off ramps through banks, through major exchanges, right? They're gonna go after Binance too. I'm just keeping it, I'm being honest. So, I sold pretty much almost everything. I'm still holding a bunch of micro-cap altcoins because they're almost not worth my time to go in and sell them. And maybe I should, because I just, you know, I want to hold on to something. I don't know if I'll sell them. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll sell everything. I do hold Bitcoin, and that's so I can short Bitcoin, and that's about it. That's what I'm doing. If you don't agree, that's fine. I mean, whatever. Go somewhere else. Go listen to a Moon Boy. At the end of the day, you make your own decision. I'm giving you guys my opinion. This is my opinion. Here's some more negative news. St. Louis Fed Chief James Bullard agrees crypto's disrupting the economy. And what more do you guys need to see? Guys, I thought this entire rally that we've seen the past 4 months was going to correct and fall anyways, just because of TA and the manipulation of Tether. Now it's really going to fall because of that and all of the regulations and pretty much the war on crypto coming from the Fed, the U.S., the regulators. I mean, whatever, lie to yourselves and say everything's going to be okay. I don't care. You make your own decisions. This is going to dump the market. And then you see FOMO articles still coming out and spinning the news. Doesn't look good. Here's another reason. Bitcoin price, worldwide trend. Last 3 months. Peaked out in June 26. Actually, I think the price really started dumping at that time. And it's been falling, guys. Here's the trend for the last year. 12 months. Peaked out back then. It was June 23rd, according to the yearly. And it's falling again. Let's look at the past month. Here's the past month. It's steadily falling, the interest. Here's a better way to engage. If someone wants to argue, well, most people don't Google search that. Well, if you want new people to come into the market to make the price go higher, they do search for that term. You could go to YouTube searches. They have fallen as well for the past 30 days. Past 3 months. Wow. Look at this. It's completely down. Let's go to take a look at the past 12 months. YouTube searches. Look at this. Huge spike in May. And then just collapse. Alright, let's take a look at the past 5 years. Here's 2017 high. All the way down. Huge spike. And then all the way back down. The interest in Bitcoin and cryptos, new people aren't, or in my opinion, are not coming into the market. You can't ignore that. Well, some of you can. Crypto fear index is at 42. It's not extreme fear. Expect that to rise as the price dumps. Bitcoin is still up like 9% from that pump, and it was pumped. All right, here's a 4-hour chart of Bitcoin. So it's all-time low from the last crash when Mnuchin came out and said they're waging war on crypto. It fell to 9,000. There was major support there, so it makes sense. It fell back down to 9,300, 9,285, and then there was a huge FOMO pump. How do I know it's a FOMO pump? Or it's not a FOMO pump, it's a tether pump. Sorry. This is a 30-minute candle. Look at that. That was tether. I can prove it because I have the tether indicator, the Bitcoin fat volume indicator. Huge spike on that when this huge candle was created. And now it's trading sideways. Looks like a lot of people are unloading because of all these wicks up top. Maybe it's tether itself, and I expect this to continue to fall for the long term. Alright, so let's start at the monthly and go all the way down. Do some trend following on Bitcoin. Monthly chart of Bitcoin, we're on a 5 count, and I have a yellow candle. Yellow candle means it's overbought, although it could stay at a yellow candle for a very long time, so it's not the best indicator, but it's the first time it went yellow. Technically on the monthly, and according to TD, it should go to a 9 count, but you know, the TD indicator doesn't know that governments are cracking down on crypto. And Mnuchin said G20, which includes 20 of the largest economies in the world and governments, right? So they're going to come out against Bitcoin globally. Here's the weekly chart. A lot of yellow candles. These moving averages have crossed, but they're like together now, which is weird, which also means manipulation. Two huge reversal candles right here with these huge wicks. Gravestone doji. Inverse hammer, all negative. Let's go to a daily. Let me take that away for a second. So, on the daily, none of the moving averages have crossed to the downside for like a death cross. Although my my one line here, I believe it's a 20-day moving average, is going to cross the 54, which will be a death cross sort of. Right now, the price is hitting resistance up here on the daily, which is, it's right there, right? At 10,500. It's a little bit above it right now. But let's take a look at the oscillators. So the RSI is oversold. MACD's all the way down. Everything's oversold on the daily. So one could argue, well, you know, this could go much higher, back up. At least retest 11,800 or something. And is it possible? Yes. But if we go to the smaller time frames, I think once the price breaks below 10,000 again, right now we're at 10,500, I think people are going to panic sell and the price is going to dump. Yeah, I mean, once the price gets below 9,600, it ain't going back up, because the price will fall again below the 128-day moving average. All right, this is a 12-hour chart. Let's take a look at the daily again. Well, it's fallen below the 54-day moving average. So if it falls below the 54-day moving average again, which is pretty much sub 10,000, it's the next stop is all the way back down to like 7,500, somewhere down there. There will be some support at 8,000 as well. So 8,000, 7,500. But once the price falls below 10,000 again, it should go there quite quickly. There'll be a lot of panic selling. Yeah, I mean, 8,500, there'll be some support around that area. But if that doesn't hold it up, next stop will be like 7,500. Not even. It'll be... It doesn't matter. I'm short, and I'm just going to hold that short all the way down. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. Well, hold on. RSI on the 12 hour is a bit high. MACD did cross to the upside, a bullish divergence. And it did that yesterday or day before. But if the price can't get back above the 38.2 fib retracement, which is at 10,700, I think this will fail and break back down, and we'll go to 9,100, bounce from 9,100 a little bit, and then down she goes. Let's go to a 4 hour chart. 4 hour chart looks ready for another sell-off. RSI is overextended to the upside, MACD as well, everything. And on the 4 hourly, so for the short to intermediate term this weekend, I expect another sell-off back down to 10,000. 10,000, you know, it might hold it for a little bit. You get another bounce, and then once 10,000 breaks, then a quick drop to 9,100, and it's just going to keep grinding down. Let's go to a 1 hour chart for this afternoon. Yeah, 1 hour does not look good. Looks like tonight we could fall, according to TA. Now, of course, will Tether come in and pump the price? I don't know. Maybe they will again. There is major, this is what you need to know. There is a major resistance at 10,980 all the way up to 11,500. Huge resistance up in this area, and I do not believe it's going to get past that. I don't care how much they want to manipulate it. Although I do have a lot of blue candles right here, according to that one indicator on the daily. I'm going to ignore that. Alright, another reason why I'm so bearish, which people do not want to talk about, other TA experts. The weekly is still overextended on the RSI and the MACD and everything else, looking at the oscillators. And it's been overextended since like March. This has to correct the oscillators on the weekly, and they're going to. And when they do, we're going to get weeks of downside. Alright? So the long term, I'm just, for the next weeks and months, I'm bearish. The regulations, these exchanges are going to come under heat. They're going to get closed down or something. It's all negative. Alright? My opinion. So, that said, I'm gonna reopen the Wolfpack cryptos. I'm gonna make it so you guys could only pay in like fiat, and the because listen, if you pay me in crypto, the price dumps. I still have to pay taxes on what the price was when you paid me at that exact moment. So I'm only gonna accept fiat because I don't want to get screwed with taxes, and it's gonna be really cheap. And then the monthly will be like $25. I'll keep that. and you'll get my indicators and you'll get my trading calls. But I will stop putting out my Bitcoin calls in the newsroom. I'm just gonna stop doing that. And for like $25, you'll get all the indicators I use. You'll still get the report, which is like a year old now, but it's still good, I think, in the long term for some of them. But listen, my opinion is a lot of these altcoins are gonna die. A lot of them. They're gonna get like 90% are really gonna die. We're not gonna get an altcoin season. We're gonna get an altcoin massacre. All right, that's what my belief is. Especially once Bitcoin starts falling sub 6,000 again, altcoins devastated. All right, especially with these exchanges going down, with the regulators and the governments going after them. All right, it's my opinion. Make your own. So you'll still get the report. Why not? It's free. I'm good. In the report, there's disclaimers that say, hey, if the governments go after cryptos and wage war on them, this report is pretty much worthless. So it's technically worthless at this point. But, I made it, so you get it for free. Also, the STOs and all that, that's also in the alerts room. And I'm just going to drop the price by 75% and just keep it there. And I'll have separate rooms for the stock market and metals. That'll be MMG. And I'll still have Wolfpack Cryptos. Except I'm going to change the payment. It'll be like one click. You can pay with a credit card. Then you get in, and then you have to join the Patreon group. Then you get charged $25 a month for my trading, right? You can watch me trade, and you can learn from it. And then I'm going to also start making more tutorial videos on how to trade and all of that. I've been slacking on that because I've been so busy with research, Alright, so that is it for now. Smash some likes, share my videos, please. It really helps me out. It's the only way my channel grows, especially with some of these truth bombs, and it's the only way I'll continue to do this if I keep growing. The only way I keep growing is if you guys share my videos. And then leave anything in the comment section. I will read them. I will either ban you or I'll respond to you depending on what you say. And then, yeah. And I'll see you guys in the chat groups. All the links are below this video in the description section. Until next time.